What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the FITT podcast, part 2 of episode 7, back with my boy Yusuf. Just to recap, last episode, we just really talked about our journeys to get to where we are at, and bodybuilding and powerlifting, and kind of just our background in terms of coaching, education, how we got to where we're at. And then we kind of gave some tips about eating healthy, things that we want our clients to be able to kind of push through their barriers. So tonight's podcast, we really want to kind of go in more depth about coaching, things that we see wrong with today's coaching, comparing virtual versus in-person coaching. We're going to talk about, I got a list of things here, some injury prevention tips, me and Yusuf's point of view on the most important meal of the day for our clients that we give our clients. And we're just going to really talk about struggles that we see with clients and reaching their goals, and then possibly some things that we've struggled with in the past in terms of our prepping for competitions or meets or even nutrition itself. So, Yusuf, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good, bro. It's been a long day, but I'm here. We're here. We're living.
We're here for you guys. We're grinding right now. We're cranking out this podcast for you guys. So like, comment, subscribe below, support the channel. Okay. So Yusuf, let's start out with this question. Pros and cons of coaching virtually and in person. What kind of are pros and cons of both?
Man, that's a loaded question you got there, and I like it. I like it, man. I'll preface this by saying that over the past 12, 13 years, I've been an in-person trainer primarily. I didn't get into the online space until the past 2 years. So I'm speaking on a great deal of in-person training. So I'm probably biased toward this, right? And this is just it truly rings true to even over all these past years. There's pros and cons to everything, right? Depending on your perspective. I would say when it comes to in-person coaching, I think there's a whole laundry list of pros. Okay. I would say first and foremost, the pros of in-person coaching is the deep connection that you get with in-person coaching.
Most definitely.
I mean, truly, I feel like I've built such a developed network, friendships, like family friends. I've developed even long distance, maybe even referrals I've gotten for in-person coaching. And these people, I know I'm going to be inviting them to my wedding. People that I go to for a lot of help. I mean, I train quite a few doctors. So anytime something scary happens to my blood work, for example, I turn to actually a few of my clients who are literally like in their 50s and 60s. They've been practicing medicine for decades. And I trust their perspective because they're going to put my context of my life, because they know me, into perspective based off what they've learned through med school and also as a practitioner. In-person coaching has done so much when it comes to building my confidence as a trainer. I really feel like the reason why people stick with training, a big reason of it is because a client or somebody resonates with that trainer. There's a reason why I have a coach specifically for bodybuilding. I don't want personally the coach that is just going to be there as my big cheerleader. Congrats, you went to the gym. Oh my God. I am a little bit more hardcore when it comes to my coaching. I need somebody who is no BS, no one just glazing me. I want someone that's going to actually keep me accountable. And even on the days that I don't want to actually go to the gym or that I don't want to cook my food, I don't want to prep my food, measure my food out. I have somebody who's an objective third party measurement that says, no, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. This is why you're not satisfied with your results,
Yep.
right? So in-person coaching has done so much when it comes to developing my confidence as a trainer, building my network. I would also say that a big perspective of the cons, right, of in-person coaching, I would say is that you are still one human being that can't work miracles. Okay. I'm sure you may have had the client too, Andrew, that comes to you looking to get in beach body shape, and it's damn near June. Okay. It's July 1st today as we're recording this, and some people are coming out to trainers saying, I want to get to my beach body ready. I have a wedding coming up. I want to make sure I look good. and girl, this wedding is in 6 weeks, and you're telling me you want me to wave a magic wand and just get it done. Wish it was that easy, right? There is a lot of behavioral aspects of training and of coaching and of overall health that we have to be accountable with, right? You cannot change somebody's perspective if they're really deeply rooted in extrinsic motivations. If somebody truly just wants to look good and they've never dealt with training, never worked out in their life, you're not going to work a miracle and get somebody six-pack abs in 6 weeks, right? So it's just one of the most common things that I see, and everyone wants the secret sauce. Everybody wants that quick. Oh, you should tell me, what is it? What do I need to do to get in beach body shape? And it's like at this point, Andrew, I'm telling people, okay, try my juice cleanse, try this apple cider vinegar shake that I concocted, right? Because it's just what they want to hear, right? But realistically, this is consistency. This is doing overall health in a right way, more than just one aha, magic drink or magic shake that you drink that gets you in shape.
And I'd say on that point, you can do that, get abs in 6 weeks if you already have the foundation there.
Mm-hmm.
You have already, you see guys, you see this, it's more for social media and clicks and everything, but bodybuilders who will bulk up and gain 50 to 100 pounds, and then in 3 months, they'll cut all that weight. Well, you got to understand underneath all of that, they already have the physique, they already have the genetics, they know exactly what their body is supposed to do, intake, calories, macros, micros, and they already have the muscle mass underneath there to get to that.
Right.
People
Right.
who have never trained in their life, never actually worked out, never actually counted their macros, counted their micros, they're never going to be able to get to that. And I think that's a big thing is people see all these other guys and women who do this. Well, look at their background, look at their experience, look at what they have done, how long they've been doing this for, that they already have the makeup and the foundation solid,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even extremely advanced foundation, like you and me, where we can do that with the flick of our fingers and get to where we want to be because we have that foundation established already. People I don't think they realize that, in order to be able to do that healthy,
Mm-hmm.
not unhealthy, because there's a lot of things out there, as you know, it's probably most likely very, 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 very rare ever going to happen. We're not saying it's not possible. We're just saying that it's very rare to see unless you see somebody who already has that foundation established.
Mm-hmm. I definitely love that point that you brought up, Andrew. Truly, because I feel like the average person that comes to us, at least this is from my perspective, right? Um, they they underestimate just how long it takes to build lean tissue. Building building more of your flesh. Just that concept is just still mind-boggling to me. What we do as health professionals, as powerlifters, bodybuilders, anyone in the strength sports arena, we are literally adding size to our flesh. Okay? Like we are obviously taking energy from food, from all of our extra, food, right? Food, drink. And we train our body, right? To even think that we can put on size, like like that is just an insane concept to me. It's just a miracle how that even works, right? I'm just so blown away by that. And then everybody sees, we have the world of social media, we have TV. Since the dawn of time in the fitness industry, you see jacked, ripped women and men on magazines, on TV, and you see the end result, and you're like, oh, I want to look like that. Little does the average person know just how long it took to get there. They
Yeah.
don't know all the emotional aspect of food. They don't know how hard it was for that person to actually get to that point. All the I mean, I know, Andrew, you may also deal with this too, like body dysmorphia. Okay.
Everyone deals with that. Yeah.
I can go on for hours about that, right? This is the dirty side that people don't really, open up about unless they're very comfortable with you. No matter how long I do this, I don't care if I'm 75 years old and I've been training for 65 years or whatever. I am still never going to be satisfied with my end result. But people underestimate just all of what went into the stuff that you don't see. You see the end product, you see somebody on stage on a bodybuilding show, you see somebody on a platform pulling damn, I don't know how you even do it, Andrew. I don't know how you pick up so much freaking weight, bro. Like you see somebody breaking world records in a powerlifting meet, and you're wondering, what is the sauce? What is the secret sauce? It is putting your head down and grinding, not expecting any result, doing a lot of the things wrong for several years, not knowing what you were doing for a few years, finally reaching out for help, doing all the protocols, all the sleep protocols, all the food protocols, all the training protocols, all the nuance for years and years and years and years. And people just aren't willing to put the kind of time and honestly be consistent to that extent. But I think that we are such a small niche of athletes. We take the value from what we learn. And when we talk about the general population of people that we're training in person and also even online, I think there's so much value in that mindset when it
Hmm.
comes to uncompromising your goals, right? You have a specific goal and you're not going to let a family function ruin you and throw you off your game. You're not going to make excuses and be like, I'm going to eat whatever I want because it's whatever is in front of me. I think there's so much value that we have as coaches to be able to communicate our skills and our experiences, obviously from our certifications and our own experiences, I think is very valuable. To be able to communicate it and put it in a digestible form for the average American or average person. We need to be able to bridge that gap. And I think people put coaches on this like pedestal of like, oh my God, Yusuf, you are fit. I don't know how you do it. What like we are human beings, we have families, we have jobs, we have responsibilities. Like we're also human too. And I think that once we kind of put it into perspective and we can communicate to that average person what exactly one or two things, simple things that we can do to change their life through health, fitness, mindfulness, self-respect, love, right? To
Hmm.
obviously change their lives from our knowledge and our expertise.
Exactly. And I think those are really all great points, honestly. I think another thing that people get kind of and then I'll answer the question that I asked you, but I think one thing you probably agree with this that people kind of don't take into account either is like these people who do um these strongman bodybuilders, physique guys who go and have these giant cheat meals and everything like that. People don't realize that that's not what they eat all the time. Like, I'll give an example. Like, I know he's very big. He blew up. I mean, he'll probably die when he's 40, 45. But Sam Sulek,
Mm,
his diet does not consist of that stuff. It is not, and people have other doctors have talked about it. It is not humanly possible to eat the stuff that he does, and that's all he eats, and to get the physique that he does, even if no matter how much stuff he is taking, that's not possible. Your body will not look like that if that's all you eat. And I don't think people realize that.
mhm,
And I think people try to mimic that diet, and they also don't realize that he probably also burns a lot of calories. He's in a caloric deficit. He probably also does count that stuff
mhm,
as well. Everything that he does eat, he probably counts. And people don't really, he probably also has a nutritionist, bodybuilding coach, all those people who are giving him advice and tips that he's not putting out on social media because, you know, why do that when you got this huge following? Keep up. If you're going this way, why not keep doing what you're doing? I think that's another thing. And it's not just him, it's other people as well, too. These cheat meals, people are like, how do they do? Well, I have cheat meals too, where I eat like 5,000 calories in a sitting. That's maybe once every 3 weeks, every once a month, and that's something that I am able to look forward to. But I also do it at a specific time of day, usually around 4 or 5, where it can digest. It's not sitting in my stomach overnight. And then I can do cardio afterwards, where at least I burn a little bit. So I
mhm,
don't stay in a huge caloric surplus where then I got to eat dinner after that typically. And then that gives it some time to adjust, but I'm on a huge caloric surplus where my body weight shoots up 4 or 5 pounds. So
mhm,
I eat it early, do cardio, kind of burn 2, 3 pounds off of that. And then I have another meal after that. That's my normal, chicken and rice and broccoli, whatever it may be, turkey. I think that's
exactly.
something that people really don't understand. Because social media, it's like you see it, you believe it, you know. So I know you would agree with that. But coaching virtual versus in person, I'll be quick with this one. In person is very hard if scheduling wise. If people are busy, it's hard to find. For me specifically, I know you train out of one facility. For me, it's hard for my clients who train at different gyms across Chicagoland area. Sometimes I have a guy who's training up in Michigan who's a powerlifter. it's very hard to find any time exactly to fit a schedule every single session. I do feel like it's positive because it allows that person like, okay, 6 to 7, I got training with Andrew after work going in, rather than, oh, I got to go to training today, I don't have a coach, but I got to go to the gym because I have this program set out for me, blah, 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 blah.
Mm,
I do see there's factors of motivation level, you have with in person, less internal motivation is required because you have the external motivation from your coach, knowing that you got to go into that session. He's there at the gym waiting for me. I got to go. I'm not going to be a dick and miss.
mm,
Virtual is more internal motivation because I make the program for you. I give all the nutrition guides. I stay on you 24/7 about filling everything out. And I really stay on my clients every day almost, asking how everything's going, what's going on, how's
mm,
diet, how's nutrition, how's lifting. They send me videos. If they don't send me videos, I know possibly maybe something happened. They didn't train. I ask them, then they communicate with me,
mm,
or they didn't fill out their sheet that night or that day or that week. I stay on top of them that way. That's also depending on the coach. I feel like if the coach is able to do that, some coaches have huge, massive clientels, especially in powerlifting, and the communication gets pretty bad.
mm,
Um, Other coaches, like me, for example, I don't have all powerlifters. I have one. Maybe we'll get two or three in the future. Who knows? But it allows me to, because I have a great full-time job and another side business, it allows me to not have a huge clientele. Eventually, I think I can maybe get there, time management wise, but it allows me to really focus on my clients 24/7. And I do think virtual can be good for clients in terms of learning.
mm,
It really, you can give them, I mean, there's ways that you can do it where you can do over Zoom, Skype, in detailed depth analysis. You can do video. They have different apps where you can break down their, lifts and everything like that that I do with my clients. I
mm,
also do phone calls. I do a lot of stuff to try to make it be as in person as possible.
mm,
Now, I do have in-person training sessions with my clients, and those can be very good and beneficial. It's more just to go over technique for squatting, benching, and deadlifting, because in my opinion, those are the three best compound movements that any person can do. If they can do them to lose weight and build muscle, because all three of them are full body movements and I love them. Obviously, people are coming off injuries or you work with older clientele, that's obviously not possible. But with me and my clientele, younger, more athletic, trying to lose weight, gain muscle, they are able to do that. And obviously with powerlifting.
mm,
But I do feel like the in-person client, the virtual, it makes them really have to kind of learn it on their own a little bit more in a sense, and have to kind of go through the ups and downs of, okay, crap, I ate this today, I felt like shit for my workout, but I
mm,
know I don't have to tell Andrew everything that's going on, or shit, I had horrible sleep this whole 3 weeks. And I told him, I just told Andrew I wasn't sleeping well. There was a lot going on, but I didn't tell him in depth about what was going on.
mm,
Okay. And now my lifts were like crap. I didn't eat well. Okay. I feel like crap. All this kind of puts together. I know I got to get better sleep. That's going to affect my diet. That's going to affect how much energy I have, my stress levels, and my performance when I do training. So
mm,
I really like that clients can self-learn and become self-taught. Obviously, with a lot of cueing, feedback, verbal, sometimes tactile when we go in person. So I feel like it's a little bit of both, best of both worlds, in my opinion, because if you just baby a client, they're never going to learn. And it's like they're always going to be so dependent on you for everything. Whereas in my opinion, especially as a physical therapist, I don't like babying my clients. Once I teach them how to do specific exercises with the correct technique and form, I trust them to obviously one, be able to do it at home, but two, when I'm in the clinic and I might be documenting or working with another patient, they can do that exercise with the correct form technique. So
mm,
both things kind of carry over there. That's just my opinion.
yeah,
Obviously, different clientele, and I think for our audience, it's really also what you prefer. If you are looking for a coach, and they only do in person, ask them if they ever do virtual. If they are only virtual, ask them if they ever do in person. There's no right or wrong, questions to ask. There's never a stupid question. I mean, there sometimes is, but um, but uh, there, in my opinion, there's very, 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 very minimal stupid questions that you could ask.
Mhm.
So I think that's always good. Clients kind of have to just, if you're looking for a coach or someone you're going to spend your own money on, really make sure that they're able to work towards your needs and what you need.
Right.
So, all right, next topic. Um, let's see what this. Um, Biggest struggle that you feel. Let's talk about not just your clients, but you think clients in general, from all different age populations. Biggest struggles for clients to reach their goals. What are like some things that you really see with your clients that are really struggles for them that kind of push them back or set them back or make it harder for them to get to their weight loss goal or get to, being able to look a certain way or be able to lift a certain amount of weight? What do you kind of feel like are some top struggles that clients have of yours?
Oh, totally. I mean, there's always going to be so unique to the individual, but a big part of my clientele is dads. So I'm talking ages 30 to 65. And when it comes to dads, I see a lot of the commonalities, right? The struggles, the unpredictability of having kids. Like, I tell you, man, even myself, right? Like I'm a single bachelor. Okay. I've seen my nephew grow up. He's kid 7 years old now. I helped pretty much raise my cousins who are triplets, and they're 12. Wow, they're 12 years old now. But I literally remember seeing the parents of those kids, and obviously my sister going through a lot. And I tell you, I don't think anybody can talk anything, even being a coach, until you're a parent and you have to take care of this child from ages 0 to 5. Okay, just guarantee this. I can guarantee, I don't care what your fitness goals are, I don't care what you want to do. You are not getting sleep for the next 5 years. If you just had a kid, anybody watching right now, if you just had a kid, you're not going to get sleep for the next 5 years of your life. And you may as well just toss that out the window, okay? Realistically, you're not going to get a full 8 hours of sleep. You can ask any parent that, right? So I see things like this, right? The average person goes to work, they come back from work, they eat dinner, they go to sleep, right? When you're a parent, everything is built around your kids. You're gonna have to find a job that's gonna allow for childcare, right? Unless you have the means to afford childcare year round, right? Um, Childcare is probably easily the most expensive thing as a parent you'll pay for the rest of your life, right?
Hmm?
So the unpredictability of having kids, your kids get sick. Okay, when kids get sick, it does something to you. Even as a uncle, when I see my nephew sick, it literally kills me. It tears my heart out to see any child coughing their lungs out. They're sick. They can't do anything. It's the saddest thing in the world. As a parent, to know that that's your kid and that your kid is sick, it takes a hold of you. You want to do everything for your kids. You want them to have a better life for them, right, than you did. So being able to, as a parent and as a dad, you're putting your kids first, right? I totally understand that. And what we do with our coaching is that we just do a lot more of fitting fitness into their life. I do agree with what you say about people that are just kind of lying about what they're doing. They're not telling you the whole story about, oh yeah,
Mhm.
I'm having crappy sleep, but they don't tell you how bad of sleep they've been getting, right? What can we control, right? I say this a lot in my channel and on my videos and even in general. I say this a lot. Control the controllables, right? When it generally comes to losing weight, building the body that you want, it's going to come down to food. It's going to come down to the training that you're doing, and it's going to come down to your recovery, right? Predominantly, recovery is sleep. Okay, unless you have the means to afford a lot of other means of whether it's red light therapy or even hot cold therapy to some extent. That does, we see some result out of that. If sleep is gone, you have food and training. Okay, and you better hold dear to your life your food and your training. Your food's got to be on point, and your training's got to be on point too, right? So when it comes to the struggles that people come about, primarily people that I deal with, it's the unpredictability of having kids, right? You're not always gonna have. You can have the perfect schedule lined up. You can have wake up at 6 a.m., get my workout in before all the kids wake up. That's probably the most common thing that I see. My dad's workout in the morning. Um, your kid can wake up, start throwing a fit. You have absolutely no control over that. A kid doesn't want to get in the shower. A kid doesn't want to put on his clothes. A kid doesn't want to eat his breakfast. And this kid's going to be cranky all day. He's going to end up eating junk food at school because they're going to feed the kid and he's going to be hungry. I see the stress from their kids when they come back home. I see a lot of unpredictable factors as a parent, what it's like to raise a kid, but still stick to your fitness and health goals. So I really want to kind of defend my dads here to know that it is unpredictable, and you truly are not going to have the most perfect. When has weight loss ever been linear, right? Never will you ever see a linear weight loss out of your average mom and dad who wants to lose 20, 30 pounds, right? So we fit fitness into their life to whatever capacity they obviously can. And obviously we take care of all the food, all the numbers, all the tracking. It's all on the coach, right? So from my experience, I would definitely say it is the unpredictability of having kids and taking care of your kids while maintaining your sanity.
Oh yeah. And I feel like, you know, I have a girlfriend, we we have talked about having kids, and we both want kids, and um may come sooner rather than later, but um it's a little bit of a hint. Um but my whole point, and I agree with you with that to an extent. I also say is the person's job also is a big deal. Obviously, if the man can produce a good enough income where the wife can stay home and take care of the kids, that saves the child care cost. But you also have everything else that you're dealing with other expenses, because you don't have your partner working as well too. So you got to figure that out. I will say that I do. I see it at my gym that I go to, powerlifters who train, who do have kids. Um, they are their schedule is there when it first happens, it's fluctuating, but when they get a schedule down, their partner also realizes like, hey, this is daddy's training time or mommy's training time. Hey, they might also bring their kids to the gym. My gym has allowed that. Um, I would also say, um, you know, I would say it's definitely not easy. I can't imagine being a dad, and having to deal with, obviously, like you said, the variables of you don't know what the heck's going to happen. Anything can happen at any time. I'd also say, you know, having, the mindset of being able to adjust, and be flexible is also a big thing, because a lot of times people with set routines, if one thing goes wrong, and I was like this, it had to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and nothing could get in the way of lifting. If I had to move the day, it was the end of the world. Nothing, blah, 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 blah. I've gotten a lot better at that. But also realizing as like a regular dad, a regular person, um, you know, and this could be physical therapy related as well too, with exercises at home and going to physical therapy. Just realize that, okay, um, if something goes on today with my kid or someone's sick or family member or work or whatever it is, you got to push your lifting day back. Get your mind wrapped around, okay, I got to get up early in the morning because I got this and this and this and these meetings, so I can't go and lift at night like I could Monday, because Tuesday doesn't work like that. So get your head around that, and then realize I might be a little bit sore Tuesday. I won't have that rest day. So Wednesday, when that comes, I got to get my head around that as well too, that I might be a little bit more fatigued. Maybe I tell my coach, or you know, um, I tell my coach, or I realize basically like, hey, I had to push the day back. You know, I can't do this and this, or I'm going to skip this and this, just so I give my body enough time to recover. Not everyone is competing like us, so it's not that big of a deal, but going in and just getting the work done, sometimes people think it takes 2 hours. Like with my clients, hey man, if you can get in what you can get in, that's better than nothing. People don't realize like you just like on the days that are really shitty, just going in and getting the work done, even if it's a half an hour, 45 minutes, and going balls to the wall, getting everything you can get done, eating, meal prepping, nutrition. Okay, perfect. I also think on that realm, and I think you would agree with this, if the training can't be there for that week and schedule is chaotic, take the 2 or 3 hours it takes in one week. Every person has 2 or 3 hours. If they are willing to work with us or work with other coaches or clients to lose weight, gain muscle, get leaner, whatever their goals are, every person has 2 or 3 hours a week. No one works 20, what is it, 24 times 7, whatever amount that is. I think that's like 140, 168 hours a week. No one has 168 hours where they're constantly busy. If they did, they'd probably be dead from stress. So people don't realize, take 2 or 3 hours a week, meal prep for your family, meal prep for your wife, meal prep for you, meal prep for your kids. If you got to make them lunches in the morning, get it kind of set and organized or have some organization pattern. I get not everyone is like that, but you have the time rather than sitting on the toilet for 20 minutes and taking a dump on your phone. You can be cooking food for your family during that time. I think people just don't, we're all attached to our phone device, and that's great. I am too. It's you can learn a lot. It's all that information is out there, but I do feel like, you know, there's excuses, there's valid, and then there's not valid excuses. And I think sometimes, in my opinion, people, I mean, I do it too. I have not valid excuses where I go to the gym late as fuck because I didn't want to go and I was super lazy. I'm like, why the hell did I wait so long to go to the gym today? I should just got up early like I planned to the night before and got it done. Get in, get out. Those are the days that are really gonna like separate you if you want to become an elite powerlifter, an elite bodybuilder. Get your pro card in bodybuilding. If you want to lose that extra 5 pounds before summer starts and you want to get those abs in, like those are the days that you will regret not going more than going. So you'll regret, if that makes sense, you'll regret not going more than actually going in just half an hour, 45 minutes. So I agree with your points, but I also feel like there is valid excuses and then there's not valid excuses. And people just have to be willing. I tell my clients this, you got to be willing to adjust because life happens, man. You got to be willing to adjust. And if that means you got to go train at 9 p.m. at night after work and then get up the next morning and train at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m., then make sure you get up set your alarms, do everything you possibly can to get up at that time. And then if you can only get half an hour, 45 minutes in, that's better than nothing. That is better than nothing. And then you come home Wednesday and you relax and you feel better. I guarantee you will feel better mentally, physically, emotionally, pushing yourself and getting that work done on that day where you're just exhausted or tired or you got a lot going on, but you got the work done or you ate right that day for that whole day when you couldn't train or that whole week when you couldn't train. You will look back on it and really will have no regrets. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, straight up. I mean, I do subscribe to that idea, right? Like, there's a lot of times where even myself, if I only have literally 1 hour to work out, we always talk about this too, like transit, just driving to the gym and driving from the gym back home. That's time, right? And as a dad, you just don't have that kind of time all the time, right? So for the most part, like on the days that you may feel like crap, we literally go to the gym just to squat. Okay. We go to the gym just to do a barbell or dumbbell press, right? You literally have a rep scheme that I give somebody, right? A rep scheme, weights to do, whatever. They have one goal. The one goal is just one exercise. Even if it is for 15 minutes, if it's for 30 or 45 minutes, they're getting a kick-ass workout. I don't care if, like, as the whole nuance of bodybuilding is like, oh, what parts of your chest are you feeling? Bro, if they're pushing weight for 30 freaking minutes, they're going to be sore as hell. Okay. That's going to be an effective workout because I know they're going to push themselves. It's simple. You can have all this junk, all this messed up things happening in the world, and you may be super stressed. But if you can at least tangibly focus and be present for at least 30 minutes and do one simple exercise, that was a win. Okay. And then you can use whatever little time you have in that day, again, for meal preps. And I'm a big believer in this, and this is just truth, right? For weight loss, food is going to do so much more than your training. Your training will build muscle. It's awesome. But literally, the way the scale goes down, the way you feel better, it's all from your food. So you better put a lot more time every week towards your food, right? Your training.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Your training is gonna build muscle. It's gonna do so much for you. You know all the benefits of lifting weights, how amazing it is for your metabolism, mental health, everything, right? Sleep. The goal when somebody comes to me trying to lose weight, we focus so much more on food. What kind of food choices are you making? Are you tracking your food? Are you measuring your food? Are you just getting whatever food is in front of you and eating it? Or, for example, if you have some dinner, like Fourth of July is coming up here, people are going to be barbecuing. People are going to be eating insane amount of processed food, a lot of food to exhaustion. They're not going to bring out their freaking uh, food scale to measure out their hot dogs. They're always going to do that, right? So, like, how do you adjust from that, right? How do you adjust, compensate for that huge influx of calories? Are you going to feel like crap afterwards? You bet your ass you will. But how do you respond to that? Do you go on walks? Will you be outside? Are you going to get good sleep that night? There's always ways to accommodate for those type of events. Um,
Exactly.
but going off of what you said about that, going to the gym even for 30 minutes, that is a win. You're gonna always feel better and feel happy for yourself and proud of yourself that you still showed the hell up, even if it wasn't that perfect 2 hour workout, right?
Yeah, because not every day is going to be a good day. It just is what it is. My training, not every day is going to be a good day. That happens with even the best powerlifters in the world, and I'm right up there, but I'm not the greatest, but all those guys, they go through ups and downs too. Life gets in the way, shit happens, and it's the same thing that I tell clients who I treat for physical therapy, life's going to get in the way. You may not be able to do your exercises at home. I get that, but it takes 5 minutes. You can do them in bed. Every minute of the day is a minute that you're blessed with, in my opinion, where there's somebody else, in a hospital room or a hospital bed who wish they could, do exercises in their bed for physical therapy, or wish they could get up at 5 in the morning, even though they're exhausted and bone tired, to go to the gym and do squats or do a bench press for 30 minutes. I think that's what I tell my clients all the time is like, just be grateful for what you have, and, you know, take, and I do this all the time. I don't take sometimes moments in and appreciate the blessings that I have. Um, but I think that's also why I do coach, is because I like making a difference in people's lives. And I think getting people to believe and truly buy in is like getting them to believe like, okay, even though I can go 30 minutes, I'm still going to do it because I know that's going to make me feel better. And I know that's going to help me in the long run rather than like, and it's not going to set me back. I'm going to go because I don't want to get set back. I want to reach my goals. And that's that internal motivation and drive. And once you see that in a client, I feel like that really is like, okay, I've really made a change in this person's lives and this mentality and their mindset. And I think, I mean, that's why I do it. So, but uh I do man, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I've really enjoyed these last two podcast episodes with you, man. I really want to do a part three of this, because by far you're the best person who I've had on, for this podcast. Just the energy, the passion. I've been telling people just to go and watch because the energy and passion is so great, and you can see how much you love what you do, bodybuilding and coaching your clients, and I think it's just great. And yeah, so uh, audience, we are going to be we'll figure it out. It might not be next week at this time, but we and Yusuf will figure it out. We're going to do a part three,
Right.
and just continue to talk about some of the topics that we talked about earlier with just eating healthy, nutrition, and all that stuff. So, Yusuf, you got anything quick to add?
Eat food, lift heavy.
There we go. There we go, people. All right. Well, other than that, like, comment.